What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday night. I missed you guys so big. I had a week off last week for summer break, and it was very much needed, but I definitely missed this right here. This right here, I was like, ah! So it is Wednesday night, folks. It's time for Notary Meet and Greet, and this is just us getting together. This is your first time here, welcome. We just talk. We don't have an agenda. And it goes by fast. So we started off by, if you have anything that you need to talk about, we want to talk about that first. And we raise our hands and then we'll just form a line. And is there anybody that has anything that they want to start with? Anything that they're having problems with? Tiffany.
Close my door.
Hey, Tiffany.
Greetings,
everyone.
I noticed that the master class, I missed it yesterday. It changed from the evening to afternoon.
Afternoon, yes. Yeah, I had to do it that way because I have duties in the evening that I can't teach in the evening because I got a child that I have to transport back and forth to work. So I have to do it in the afternoon. Now, it was just me and Antoinette. It was like, what? But it was still cool. We recorded it and everything, but I definitely missed everybody. So what I think I'm going to do for tomorrow is have it in the evening, but have it in the evening after I've picked up Malcolm from work. So it'll probably be 8, because right now it's on the calendar for 1. And this is the DIY Women-Owned Small Business Mastermind, for those of you who are wondering what we're talking about. This is not a class per se. This is an accountability group. And we've had 12 sessions, or we're doing 12 sessions of us holding each other accountable and getting our women-owned small business stuff done. So to your point, Tiffany, tomorrow evening, or probably later on tonight, expect an email changing the time of that to tomorrow night. I just don't know what time it's going to be. That way we can make sure everybody that wants to be a part of it can. So we'll get that squared away. Margaret.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi. About the major, declaring the major and the minor. Okay. I am like at baby steps because I haven't completed my Mark Wills training, loan signing training yet. I still haven't had the exam or anything like that.
Okay.
So I was declaring a major I was conflicted about declaring a major for loan signing. I can't, or general notary work.
Okay. So that's a very good point. You are at the beginning stages. So it sounds like to me, what you might want to do for fall semester is declare your major in general notary work, because we want you to still be moving forward, right? And then wait till the spring semester to declare your major in loan signings. That gives you the rest of the fall to finish your loan signings course. That gives you time to start signing up with the signing services. That gives you time to start building that loan signing business, and then you can declare that aspect of your major in the spring. So we're not technically doing it like, you declare a major and that's it for 4 years. We're going to change our university up a little bit, right? You need to declare, the purpose of the declaration is so that you don't feel like you're just floating in this sea of information.
Right. So, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I don't have like a EIN, or I don't have a business or a name or anything like that. So
okay, and that means you do, and then maybe honestly, you don't need to. You want to declare a major, but a part of declaring your major is completing some of those steps. So let's take a look at that. I'm so glad that you brought that up. So what we're going to do is really quick. We're going to look at the process, the journey that you're going to be going through. So let's look at, I can't remember where I put it. No, that's not it. What you're going to be going through is, see if I can find it. I've got so many things in here. You're going to be, it's probably easier for me to pull up the email that I sent to the assessment developers. Okay, so let me go here. – Yeah, let me just show you guys this. No, that's not it either. Okay, so let me figure out where I put it and then I'll do the screen share. But basically, there's 28 credits that include getting your LLC together, Google Ads, your Google My Business page, setting up your Facebook and Instagram, Foundation 101 classes, right? Those are required no matter which major that you choose. So what's going to happen for you, Margaret, at Notary Nerds is because of where you are in the process, you're at the beginning, this is actually going to work out to your benefit. Because now, unlike your predecessors, we've been grabbing at government contracting and notary permit runner and car dealership navigator and all types of shiny objects. You're coming along and your business is at a place where everything's going to be organized for you. So you know that these first 28 credits that you need to take are going to help you do exactly those foundational business things that you need done. Once you get those done, then you know, okay, now I need to go ahead and go into my major courses, which is my general notary work focus. Which one of these, is it notary permit runner? Is it attorneys? Who am I going to focus on for this general notary work? But you have time because you'll be taking that 28 classes. I think it's 28 credits rather. I think it breaks down into about 12 classes, right? One of the classes is the Notary Start Here, which all the Notary 101, 102, and 103 is housed with all the LLs, with all the checklists. So that's actually like 8 credits. So basically what's going to happen is, I think, did I put that in an email? No, it was in the email I sent out to you guys.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so reference that email, and those 28 that core group of classes is going to do that for you. You are new. You don't really need to be concerning yourself yet with declaring your major until you've gotten through those core classes, if that makes sense.
So I don't need to declare a major, just finish the Notary 101 and all of those classes.
You need to get your core classes done, and your major and all that will come in the spring, right?
Oh.
So what we've got now is, and still do the work as far as your classes, and then once you've completed your classes, still try to take your exams by the end of August. Let's talk about that real quick. So on August the 15th, the exams are going to be unlocked. There are about 7 or 8 people right now developing your exams. They're working on those. On August the 1st, they're going to hand them over to the Notary Nerd staff. The Notary Nerd staff on August the 1st are going to begin to do the data entry to put the exams into Notary Nerd University. On August the 15th, you guys will be able to access your exams. Finals will be 2 weeks, August the 15th through August the 31st, okay? After August the 31st, the exams get locked down. They get locked down again until January 2022. So if you want to get moving, and your carrot is the attorney ClickFunnels. By you getting this work done in a pretty straight fashion, you're going to get free access to my attorney ClickFunnels training that I'm going to do in September. Because I finally figured out the ClickFunnels. I've deployed my ClickFunnels. I have 2 or 3 more ClickFunnels on deck. So now I'm going to help. I'm about to create my attorney ClickFunnels, and I'm basically going to be just duplicating that for you guys in September so you can use it in your own application. You're either going to get that free because you have passed your classes at Notary Nerds like you're supposed to, okay? You've declared your major, and Margaret, this might not be for you. You might not need your attorney funnel thing yet. Don't feel pressured to be a part of that in September, because it's going to happen again in the spring. Just focus on whatever you feel like you can focus on for now. And that goes for everyone that's listening. Yes, I'm putting these things in place because there are people in the community that need it. We have got to get moving. But if you're new, I don't want you to feel that pressure. I want you to come in, get your core classes done. If you want to declare by August 15th, you might change your mind. You might hit it, and you might want to change your mind and do it by August 15th. But you know that there's going to be another opportunity in January for you, so you don't have to run yourself ragged, right? Any questions about that so far before I go on? Yes, Martina. And then Catherine and then Claire.
Yeah, so my question would be then, what if we already have passed all of the EIN and all of that, and we've already been doing the general notary work, can we then just, how do we pick up the attorney's class in September?
Okay, so the attorney class, good question. The attorney class is either gonna be free because you've done all that work, or you're gonna pay $497 for it, one of the two. So if you want it and you don't wanna wait, then the cost of that's gonna be $497. If you would rather not pay that, which you have the option to not pay, just go through and pass the exam, declare your major, and just go into the class for free. Okay? Catherine,
Okay.
I'm sorry I skipped over you.
Hi, sorry, I was on mute. So in regards to how it's set up online in the Notary Nerd University, we just basically go through the classes and then there'll be an exam that will be unlocked on the 15th.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering,
Every class will have an exam on August the 15th. So when you log in, you'll click on whatever class, and you'll see at the end, you may have to hit start here or whatever and go through it, but at the end it'll be an exam. So what the thing is going to be for you guys is, and I'll go back and show this to you. This is the rubric. The rubric is what the assessment developers are using to create the exam. The exam is going to consist of fill in the blank, true and false, and multiple choice questions. It's not going to be an easy breezy cover girl, okay? So the test taker is going to have paid attention, because this is what the assessment developer is going to do. They have this open on one browser. They have the replay open on another browser. They are specifically looking for questions that are going to be challenging to you, that you will have to have paid attention to the video to get, okay? They're trying to stump you up, okay? To make sure you know whatever it is the content is being taught. So that when we have a 90% or better in that, we know, you know, right? So you're competent in that topic. So I think that, did I go off base, Catherine?
oh, no, I understand. Yeah.
Okay. Claire.
Hi.
Hey.
I was concerned. I said, I don't want to get expelled from the university. Because I was thinking, just like my sister said, it's like I have my EIN, I have a website, I have, a lot of the fundamentals that I've already taken care of. I've gone through 101 through 103. There are a couple of other courses I've taken. So is there like a freelance style? I mean, is it mandatory to go through? I mean, as far as declaring a major and minor, I think I had already mentioned that when we were fleshing out the ideas and going through.
Right.
But just in terms of following a particular curriculum, I mean, I know what my focus is.
Right.
I'm not kind of flailing and not sure of what I want to do and where I want to go, but I wanted to kind of do it at my own pace.
Right. And that's absolutely fine. You can totally do that. So,
Okay.
You've got there's so much information at Notary Nerds, and the overwhelming feedback is it needs to be structured for the majority. Yes, there are folks like yourself who are not in need of that structure because you've already kind of figured out the direction that you're going to be going in, and that's completely fine. So you don't have to feel any type of pressure to conform to the declaring of the major unless the perks entice you, right? Mm-hmm. Now, there are perks to doing it that way. You might not want to because you don't need to because you've already got it figured out. But if you want to save some money and not have to pay for the attorney funnel class, if that's something that you're interested in, then that's just a way for you to say, okay, well, I'll do it for that. So I'm putting enough incentives in place because my goal is to have as many successful outcomes as possible. That enhances Notary Nerd University. If I help you win, right? And the way that I'm going to help you win is if I can get you to automating your marketing and making sure that you're able, but I can't do that if I don't know that all these other things are taken care of first, all that foundational stuff. So that's what this exam process does for me, right? Is it lets me know that. So, but you're absolutely right. For those of you guys like Claire, you don't have to feel the pressure to go through any of this, major and minor. I don't want to add any stress, right? But like I said, if it is something that you're going to be wanting to do, come September, when you start seeing me talk about that attorney funnel and you see me figuring it out and you're not gonna get some attorneys to pay $40 a month and you're gonna want that, then you're not gonna want to pay for it. Just remember today. You know?
Right. No, I understand. I just didn't want, I was kind of feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't want to, I don't want to get kicked out of the university because I want to freestyle it. I mean, there are several things that I've already done. I've already taken care of. That is up and running and all of that. I just need to, there's such great classes that I want to, consume those for those particular areas. So I do have a major and a minor, and I'm going to focus on that. But I want to go at my own pace because I've got that. Another side of my business is doing. I have some clients, solopreneurs, that I do websites. And so that's consuming some of my time as well. And trying to also, get into a couple of other areas. So I didn't want to be on a strict timetable.
Gotcha.
And have to be committed in terms of time to complete something by a certain time in order to get to the next level.
Gotcha. No, that's not the case at all whatsoever. And I'm glad you brought that up, because if there's anybody else that's like that, don't worry about that. You do it at your own pace. You're what we call a non-traditional student. Did anybody else go to college the second time around? Like, I dropped out the first time. And the second time I went, I had kids, right? And so I was a non-trad, right?
Yeah.
They didn't, I was the 30-something-year-old in the classroom with the 20-year-olds, right? So Claire has just defined the non-traditional student at Notary Nerds University. They come in, they do their own thing. They don't care about the UC. They don't care about all the stuff that's happening on, all the little events that are happening, in the courtyard. They just want to come, go to class, go to work. You know what I mean? So that's cool. That's totally cool. Thank you for that, Claire.
All right. Thank you.
Dorothy.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I actually have two questions now. My first question is, Monica, when you sent us the invite for the to declare our major, I haven't gotten my membership yet, but I am going to get it. I did send an email, but I know you're busy. Can we pay our membership like 3 months in advance, 6 months in advance?
Oh, I remember you did send me that. Okay. Yes. Okay. And you know what? I opened the email and somebody else had asked me about that several months ago. And I need to figure out a way to do that, because that I think would help people with budgets. So I'll figure that out. So the answer to that question is yes, but I have to figure out how to do that because I have so many offers in my back office, which you don't know what I'm talking about, but I got to clean that up before I add another one because I got too many. So, but I will definitely put that on the list of things to do. But if you could give me to August the 1st to figure it out.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. And then my second question was, when we take the exam, is it open book?
Ooh, y'all. See, I got to stay in front of y'all. Y'all sneaky. Y'all always somewhere trying to think of something. Dorothy Renee. Okay. You just, I didn't think about y'all cheating. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. You just changed the game. Because I hadn't thought about that. And see, Eric, you got all your little friends on here co-signing.
Good question. Yay, good question.
Yay.
I'm going to support that statement because the NNA is open book. Just
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
That messed me up. I was not prepared for it. And I am a Girl Scout. And usually I'm prepared for everything. That one I'm not prepared for. Okay. Because theoretically, you can sit home, turn on the replay, and take the test. There's nothing that I can do to stop you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I guess it's because I'm not trying to get any more gray hairs trying to stop that. Y'all are too smart for that. So I'm just gonna say yes, it's open book.
Thank
Okay.
you, Dorothy.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, any more questions before we start talking about this big bear in the room, child? Anybody else? Okay, let's talk about it, Ron. Ron. And I know everybody is not, ooh, Catherine might have given me a little solution to the open book, because I really didn't want open book. Catherine just gave me a solution in the chat. Hey, go Catherine, go. So she says, what about making it timed? I love it. I think I'm gonna do that. There we go. I needed something to make it, because you know.
Sorry, guys. I wasn't trying to do that.
Catherine, look at everybody shaking their head.
Oh, boy.
Really?
That's the missing.
Let me leave. I'm gonna leave, guys. We'll see y'all later.
I love it. So I think, Dorothy, go ahead. You got your hand back up? Or is it still up from last time?
No, that was up from the last time. Do I need to take it down? Let me see.
I
Okay.
can help. I can do it. Good looking, Catherine. The test shall be timed. So if you want it, you better make sure you get good at zoop. Okay. Ron. So I'm gonna go out first. I feel like on this attorney funnel thing, I feel like it's my duty and obligation to go out into the wilderness with these attorneys and see if I can convince them to pay me something every month. I feel like if I do that, and if you guys can witness that, then I feel like you'll have the confidence to do it yourself, okay? What I need in order for that to happen is some notaries who are wrong. I don't care what platform you are on. I've got a little thing for you. Hold on just a second. Let me get this pulled up. It really doesn't matter what platform you're on. It really doesn't matter if you haven't gotten a platform selected yet. I just need that you are in a position, you're already commissioned, you're not in the process of being commissioned, and that you really have a good idea and you got $100 or whatever put to the side so that when you get a ding, you can sign up for you need to really be signed up for a platform. I'm not gonna even say that. You need to be signed up for a platform, because if you're not signed up for a platform and you get a ding and you can't, and then an attorney reaches out to you and you can't fulfill, that's gonna hurt everybody. That's gonna hurt the credibility of the entire deal. So on this little form, I'm putting it in the chat for those of you guys who are Ron. There's a form that, perfect. So I just put it in the chat at 8:30. There's the link to the Google form. Just fill that out for me. So this is what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a YouTube about this tomorrow. I'm gonna promote this as much as I can to get as many Ron notaries on this database. I've got like an email list of like 2,000 people. I want to send everybody an email. So if you guys get double emails from me, I apologize in advance, because some of you guys have emails from Notary Nerd University, and some of you guys are in my email over here, and I'm cleaning them up, but then some of you guys have 2 emails. So you might get more than 1 email from me, but it's to find as many of the Ron notaries as I can, because I've got to get you guys, I got to get a list of you guys. I'm going to turn over here to the attorneys and I'm going to say, hey, look, you get a free 14-day trial. I got the ClickFunnels, right? They're able to sign up for free for 14 days. So far, no harm, no foul. No money's changing hands. They're signing up for free. Y'all are signing up for free. Everybody's free, and we're just going to see what happens. So the goal is for these attorneys over here to call you guys and say, hey, I need a sign, right? So that some transaction happens. Now, when that transaction happens, I haven't thought that far. That's why I needed to talk to you guys, because I'm a broker, and at my brokerage, I usually do an 80-20 split, right? I do an 80-20 split, and I charge a transaction fee. Those are my 2 forms of revenue, the commission split and the transaction fee. Actually, I have 3, and the monthly fee. That's exactly kind of how I'm trying to set this up, right? But at the beginning, because I talked to Narisa this morning, and I talked to Catherine to Christina this morning, and y'all can't keep paying out money. That's the consensus that I'm getting, is that
Yes.
you need something to come in, and you're okay with paying, but you would rather it come on the back end. In other words, if you signed up for something like this, you're okay with paying, but you want it to come out of the deal, right? You don't want to necessarily front the money, right? You don't want to have to pay to be a part of this. So that's the feedback that I got. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create the funnel for the attorneys. Hey, free 14-day trial, sign up to access the notaries, okay? So everybody's going to be organized by state. So I'll come over here to you guys, and that's why you're filling out that form right now, because if you're filling out that form right now, that's the first step in the process. And you guys know me enough by now to know that I'm always recruiting and everything matters. So, you know, you got to have your stuff together still because we're going to vet the list. Just because you're signing up on the list doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get to be on this database if there's some other extenuating circumstances that we have to deal with. Because we can't afford at the beginning for that to cause us potential problems as a whole. We want real good fruit so that when we get this thing started and people have good experiences, it'll take on a life of its own. And so what I'm thinking of, and I don't have this ironed out, but what I'm thinking of is it's going to be an 80-20 split. You're going to have an option of there's going to be some monthly thing associated with this, because this is different than just Notary Nerds. This is not you coming to learn, right? Notary Nerds is Notary Nerds. This is money. This is like your marketing. This is like if you were like a marketing partner, right? Because like those services that are out there, they say, if you pay me so much, I'll send you leads. This is what that will be, right? But we're going to start it off where nobody has to pay anything. What we're going to do is get you guys together on the Ron, people who can do Ron. I've got the attorneys over here. I'm going to give them a free 14-day trial. My goal is to get that social proof for you guys to get these attorneys after that 14-day trial to bite at probably $50 a month. I think with Ron, I don't think it should be $37 a month. I don't think it should. I think it should be more than that, because what my pitch is to the attorneys is now your international clients transactions can be handled seamlessly. Now you can grow your solo attorney practice with government contracts. Now you can boom, 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 boom. Okay. So that's my pitch to the attorneys. And I hold a little weight because I'm a broker. I've got social proof on this notary thing. I've got a group with 10,000 notaries. I've got Notary Nerds. So I've got credibility there, right? So I'm going to try to leverage that in y'all's favor and in my favor, okay? So that's the gist of it. So if you are a Ron Notary, if you know Ron Notaries, this is not time to hold anything. Don't keep this from anyone. You know, there's people we don't want to share stuff with sometimes because they got on your nerves, okay? Go on and share it with them. Get your blessing, okay? Even if you're not Ron and you know you're not Ron, don't hold tight onto it. Share it with somebody who is Ron. Tell them what we're doing, right? Try to get as many people on as possible, because at some point it's going to benefit the whole some kind of way anyway. Because I'm trying to keep this thing like this. I'm trying to keep it like where it's, you know, we keep it in the family, so to speak. Does everybody pick up what I'm putting down? Okay. Any questions?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Kat.
So how long do we have? The reason why I asked, because I'm actually commissioned in Florida as a Ron, but I just moved to Virginia. So now I'm starting the process over in Virginia. So how long do we have before we can actually fill out the Google form for Ron?
It's there now. You can actually go right now and fill it out. So in other words, if you're asking me though, how is it going to go away at any time where you won't be able to sign it? Okay, yeah, no, you don't have to worry about that. It's out there. It's not going to come. I'm not going to pull it back in. I want to keep it out because I want to keep it flowing with more and more if I can. I need as many Ron notaries to continually always be signing up for that. That makes it more valuable to the attorneys that I'll be marketing it to.
Okay.
Because keep in mind, an attorney in Tennessee is not exclusively going to need a Tennessee notary. They're going to sometimes need a remote online notary in Texas. So it's going to benefit the whole if, you know, this platform stays open for you to sign up whenever. If you end up, can you get commissions? How is it, Ron?
Well, I can't, my Florida commission, I have to send that back since I'm now physically in Virginia. So now I just sent off the application to get a general commission in Virginia. Then once I get that back, then I can apply for the RON in Virginia.
Okay. So here is the other thing. So, but to answer your question, Catherine, don't worry about it. It's going to stay open, and everybody, it's going to be one of those things that we constantly want new Ron notaries, right? So here's the thing for those of you guys who aren't interested in Ron, can't do Ron, aren't feeling Ron is not in your situation, but you want to maybe kind of plug into it in some way, shape, or form. You do not have to be a Ron notary to own a Ron notary signing service. I repeat, y'all listening to me? You do not have to be a Ron notary to start a Ron notary signing service. I'm gonna throw something else out there. You do not have to live in the state that your signing service operates out of. Let me run that back. Some of y'all are catching it. You do not have to live in the state that your Ron signing service operates out of. So if your state cannot do Ron, but you know another state that does, if I were you, while I was in these notary Facebook groups, I would make friends with 3, 4, or 5 Ron notaries. Because what I will also be doing is partnering with Ron signing services. All it is paperwork, folks. That's all it is.
Wow, game changer.
Okay. So now we have a way in which to plug into this Ron thing, even if our state doesn't allow us to do it. Because again, the last time we talked, I said, I don't want you guys to consider all of this work that you're doing to be, don't visualize you doing the work. Visualize you doing the work so that you can come up with your SOPs so that you know how you want a general notary work signing to occur when the appointment gets confirmed, what you say when it's confirmed. So you've got a checklist so you can go hire somebody so they can go do it for you. So when you declare notary permit runner as your minor or whatever, your general notary work major, then you're going to go do that so you can learn it and get your SOPs so that you can go hire somebody to do that. So when if you're affiliated with Notary Nerds, consider yourself the trainer. I'm training the trainers. I'm not training the people to go do the work. This is a train the trainer session. Envision everything we do as training the trainer. So now that you can see yourself as the trainer, understand that you have to create your business in such a way that when you hire, you can just hand somebody their binder, okay? And when I say hire, 1099, get a W-9, 1099, you're gonna have to get your independent contractor agreement. You're gonna have to spend some money, and it's not gonna be something you have to do right off the bat. But these are the things that you need to be aware of, that you know that you already probably know that you're gonna need to do, right? Those are it. You don't have to get any more complicated than that. You don't need a W-2 employee. You don't need unemployment insurance. You don't need any of that. So what this is now is a shift. When Notary Nerds started in January, we had no idea exactly what we were doing, but it has molded itself into this thing that now we kind of, you guys, look, there's only so much notary content. There's 2 things for the most part, 3, acknowledgement, jurat, signature witnessing. Everything else is fluff, right? We can't stretch notary knowledge out pretty much any longer than about 6 months. If you go deep in notary work, you done learn just about everything you need to know in about 6 months. If you still 24 months in and you still don't know, that's just because you ain't, I don't know, okay? But about 6, it takes, and you all have seen it. Have you not seen people that you see start out and in about 5 or 6 months, now they got 25,000 people on the YouTube, they got a class, hello? So in the notary space, there's not so much content that you can't master it in a fairly short period of time if you want to, okay? Now that's not saying that you have time to, but if you really wanted to, you could. So when it comes to that, it's 6 months in, 7 months in for us, so it's time to evolve for those day ones. Now again, I'm gonna keep my asterisk out there for those of you guys who are just getting started and you just became aware of Notary Nerds. This is me talking to the day ones, okay? For you guys that are new, you still are entitled rather to the time that you need to develop your business. You still are gonna need your 60 days and 90 days to get your thing going. So don't pressurize yourself. But you day ones, it's time for the pivot, which is why all this is happening. So it's time to push forward. So now that we figured out basically we kind of know a little bit about everything. Apostille, we know a little bit about we know a little bit about reverse mortgage, we know a little bit about everything. Now it's time to pee or get off the pot with 1 or 2 of those things. But those things are going to be your 2 departments. It's your LLC, right? Now on this Ron thing, I want to focus on Ron because the attorneys do have several pain points, but that was the one that seemed to be able to be the easiest to solve. Logistically, mobile in the evening is not hard to solve, but there's a lot of moving parts and pieces. There's mileage and there's all these different things. Ron, the demand is high because, you know, people we're still in this whole era of the pandemic. We're kind of coming out of it, but it's still, you know, states and title companies are moving more and towards that. So we need to pay attention to that. So that was the writing on the wall with that. And because of the targeted audience that we're dealing with the type of attorneys we're dealing with, the little guys now with this feature, they're able to conduct business everywhere. That solo attorney in Austin, Texas, now can go international. If they've got, or at least national, right? If they want to start doing federal cases and this, that, and the third, but they've been prohibited from doing so because they don't have that support they would need. Now, here's the other thing, you guys. I get so excited and there's so much opportunity that I don't want to overwhelm, but you guys, these solo attorneys that we are going to be targeting, that I'm going to start off targeting, that I recommend that you target, are going to need more than just a notary. They are. And those of you who are already virtual assistants or have those types of skill sets or you know, that kind of thing, that's going to come into play. They're going to need other things. So I'm just saying, I don't want you to go down that rabbit hole and buy a virtual assistance class tonight, okay? I don't want you to do that. But what I do want you to understand is that the better you take care of, the more you anticipate your customers' needs. I have to anticipate y'all's needs. I sit up and think about what y'all gonna need, right? And then I ask. And sometimes I like what y'all say and sometimes I don't, okay? But either way it goes, I ask. Why? Because y'all are my primary customer. So when you start dealing with these attorneys, you need to think about them like that. What are they gonna need? Yeah, they're gonna need me for Ron, but what else are they gonna need? They may need me to take some paperwork to the courthouse. I might need to get my courier's information put together on here, okay? They may need, you know, some administrative support. I need to hire somebody from the temp service for that when it gets time. So you're just kind of thinking futuristically. That doesn't mean you go out and do it today. That just means that you know that when you start taking care of your people, that means taking care of your people. What do you need? And you're anticipating what they need based on the business that you know that they operate. So it starts with Ron and it has to be focused. And that's why you don't want to go too far right or too far left, because you have to focus. And the focus is going to be Ron. I want to help your solo attorney business by providing this great big group of notaries in all the available states that Ron is available that you can call upon to do a notarization. And then on the back end, if that works out, it's gonna have to be, and I honestly don't know how that part works out because I don't want to get between the notary and their money, right? That is a headache. When I have to process a commission check, when I have an agent that closes a deal, I have to process that check. I got to get the check from the title company, deposit it into the bank, cut the check to the agent, get the check to the agent, or do the ACH. Those are not hard steps, but I don't envision doing that all my day for 20, 30 people. You see what I'm saying? So that means I would have to hire somebody else, and that may be necessary. But if there's a way that I can just create this as a service and then let you guys get the money. In other words, you pay a fee, and then this is after everything gets rolling. This is not the beginning. Like I said at the beginning, it would be free for the attorney for 14 days and free for you guys. At day 14, the attorneys either monetize or they don't. And hopefully by this time, people over here are getting calls and there's some money getting made, right? So what's gonna happen probably is this over here for you guys is probably gonna be free until y'all start making money. And then when y'all start making money, that's when the money is gonna come into play as far as the split, as far as the fee, and as far as the monthly fee, right? Because what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have some revenue coming in to keep pushing out to more attorneys, right? Because that's not just gonna happen by itself. There is some word of mouth that's gonna happen, but there's gonna have to be some intentional marketing that's gonna be done as well. So what questions do you guys have? Let me check the, I haven't been looking at the chat, y'all, I'm sorry. Antoinette's got Ron. Yay, Wayne is choosing the platform now. We'll have one tomorrow. Claire's Ron certified. Melinda said, yep, I think I remember what we were talking about. Victoria said, I'm Ron certified, but I never received the certificate. Okay, Victoria, so let me talk about that. The Making Money with Ron class at Notary Nerds University, Aretha is my go-to, okay? I know there's a lot of Ron notaries out there. I'm just loyal like that because Aretha and me have been together from day one and we're gonna be together as long as she wanna be, right? So I trust, and I've attended her training several times. So I trust what she's saying, and plus she's got receipts like crazy. So it's well over 1,200 signings by this point. And I know a lot of people have that, but I have a personal relationship with Aretha. She's actually coming down to train at the mock signing events next Friday. So we're creating an assessment around her course. The assessment that she's already got, we're gonna get y'all that have finished that, all your certificates, but then we're gonna change it. It's just gonna be the Notary Nerds, the one that the assessment developers are creating now. They're going in and they're coming up with that's gonna be the one that we're gonna go with, because the whole certificate thing, because what I want for Aretha, and I told her this, I said, you need, and she's got 2 other businesses too, so she's not real interested in starting a signing service. And I've been trying to push her into it. She's like, no, I really don't wanna do that. But at the end of the day, I want Aretha to take and develop some Ron people into, her own little thing, or like maybe do like a little coaching, some 101 to really help people or whatever. And she was going to think about it, and we'll probably talk about it again. But I want to see the instructors grow their business. I want to see Brittany's stuff grow, right? I want to see look, if you win, I win. That's how that works. You know what I'm saying? If I look up one day and it's like 20 people from Notary Nerds that's doing the daggum thing that was already doing it in their own right, not to take away anything that y'all already got going on, but it's gonna be saying something about Notary Nerds if there's all these people doing big things and they got something in common. That's all I got to say. So that's the whole, it's, that's the win of it. I need for y'all to win. You see what I'm saying? I want you to win. And so I'm gonna set it up for that to happen, right? So Claire, you got your hand up.
Oh my gosh, I love hearing that. That is absolutely freaking wonderful.
Yes.
Have you thought about what the platform fee for attorneys to use the service, what will that be? Because, you know, every state has a different fee for, you know, stamps and signatures and.
That's a good question. And see, I haven't thought that far down the road, Claire. When
Okay.
I'm thinking of it, because I know that's the challenge now, and I wish Amy was on the call tonight because, you know, her platform, I would love to be the platform that we all just use. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we could just use her platform, because I think hers is really simple and streamlined and straightforward and all of that. So for as far as the actual platform, it would be nice if it was homogeneous and everybody was able to access this one thing. However, I know that that's probably not going to be the reality, and that you're going to have one platform and Wayne's going to have another platform and whatever. So I want to keep it as independent as possible. So when it comes to structuring of the cost and the fees and whatnot, the attorney is going to pay a monthly fee, probably no less than $50 just to access this database that's highly specific. They would have to spend 30 minutes or 15 minutes of their time searching SnapDocs to find what they could find in 2 seconds, right? So that is the value that they get in exchange of their $50 for that. Beyond that, when it comes to how much is paid, that's where I'm stumped, because you're right. All of the states are different. You can't just put a blanket number, but you're gonna have to, and we're gonna have to, maybe that's what we should talk about, which we can't really, because I'm gonna do this on YouTube, and I don't want us to get in any kind of trouble. So what I will say is this: we will probably have to come up with your standard for your state and have state standards, right? And that way we can stay compliant with the state and homogeneous at the same time to the best of our ability, because we can't have a one size fits all across the country, right? So That's a great point, but I believe it will have to be state specific. So in the state of Michigan, this is what it's going to cost for a remote online signing. And all of those little fees that you guys are paying for your platform have to be accounted for in that, plus the profit, right? So we'll price everything accordingly, but we'll make it state specific when it comes to the standard pricing.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a comment about the pricing.
Okay.
You know, the UPS stores, they notarize documents, and I'm not sure if they have somewhere posted how much they charge. But I think if they do, we could possibly get their fee schedule and kind of build off of that, just to give you a general idea. So like whatever state we're in, we could do that, because you know they're going to be following those guidelines anyway because of the type of company that they are.
That is true. That's a very good idea. That's a good idea. Adrian, go ahead.
The UPS does notarize, but they do not have, they have a sign up there that says notary by appointment. So they have to have somebody that they have already contracted with or what have you, that, because I went in there, that's why. Because they already have somebody they contracted with, or that is a notary that you call, you get an appointment, and then you go through the process. They don't have a price up there, because I was looking into, you know, since there's one right around the corner from my house, I was like, I'm gonna be do the general notary work through there. But that's as far as I've gone. I went in there and I asked, and it says by appointment only, and they give you information to call somebody and go from there.
Okay. But as far as intel, as far as research, Dorothy, I feel you exactly what you're talking about. Go there and see, and then just kind of, you know, model that behavior as far as, you know, and then come up with the state, you know, guidelines that way. I think it's a really good idea. And here's the other thing too, guys, you know, this is Ron. And the initial thing I thought in my head was $250 for international, $150 for domestic. You know, I wasn't even like, I was just gonna just, you know, $250 for an international signing or $150 for domestic. And, you know, if there's some hoops and bells and whistles you need done, jumping through and other stuff outside of the actual RON, then that's a whole nother different situation. Because what RON involves is not only just the notarial act, it involves the technology that you must have. It involves the hardware that you must have It involves the extra commission that you must obtain. It involves all of these other inputs to your business. So we're not necessarily stuck at the notarial act as our profit center. And it is, to be honest with you, I'm also really starting to get to the point where I'm just going to start telling people to don't charge for the Notary Act. Especially you mobile notaries, stop trying to charge for the Notary Act. Stop trying to make $2 work. Tell people that your notarization is free, okay? But in order for you to come to them and do the notarization, it's X. Yes, Kimmy, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna agree with you because I do not charge per stamp. I don't charge, I charge one flat fee based on where I'm going. And people love it. They love it. Sometimes I win, most of the time I win. There may be an occasion where, of course, I'm asking how many documents they have, how many signers and all of that, but that's all factored in up front. That way they're thinking, oh, it's just one flat rate.
Yeah, and this is going back to, remember how we talked about in Notary Business 102, I think it was, when you have to think about your customer. Put your customer first. We are notaries. We went and read up all of that about $2 a stamp and acknowledgement of jury. People don't know that stuff. They don't care nothing about that. They just want to give you $20 or $30 and be done with it. Okay. So you don't have to break it down. Well, I'm turning you $2 for this, and then this $3 for a signature, and this, and the third. That's just notary brain. Okay. Think like your customer. Your customer does not care about all of that. So your marketing, your whole marketing strategy on your Google My Business page could be free notarizations. Your whole thing could be, I notarize for free. And they're like, okay, well, I'll do that. Because now they know that you're coming to them, but they know you're not going to come to them for free. And then if they do come to you, you still have your time to account for it. And if you took the pricing class, you already know what that is. Okay? So either way it goes, you're going to get paid. Because some of them like to be slick. Well, if I come to you, will it be less? No, it's going to be what it is, because it's of my time is still going to be factored into the equation. Okay? So that's a strategy in and of itself. It's called a freemium. You aren't charging for the notarization. So what I'm thinking of with this, Ron, is to let the same thing with the attorneys. Our notarizations are free. I love that as a headline. Our notarizations are free. What you're paying for is the remote online notary, is the access to the remote online notary, and the ability to have that transaction notarized basically wherever, whenever, without having to go through a whole bunch of hoops, which you might have had to do an $80 FedEx. And you're doing all of these things to get these documents signed, and hopefully they get signed and done right. And and there's a time element, because it takes 2 days or a day to get that FedEx back. And let's not even talk about international. So you're going to spend $160 getting documents signed remotely anyway. So this service now becomes a very feasible alternative to that, and it gets it done right then and there. Any questions? Okay, let's see here. Tiffany Nance says, I'm Ron approved, vendors currently approved with the state of Michigan. Ooh, this is good for y'all. Tiffany just posted some nuggets, all these vendors that are approved currently for the state of Michigan. So if you're in Michigan, check that out. A notary said, Brittany says, if anyone needs help with contracts, notary, okay, she got a hookup. Okay, that's good. Is it national, or is he Florida specific? National, okay, cool.
National.
Okay, y'all, this is what networking is all about. Because someone that doesn't have their commission yet, and yes, Sheila, they can. They don't have to be commissioned. As a matter of fact, I talked to a young lady today, and I don't know if she was able to catch the call. Let me see here. I don't see her name on here. But next week at the training, Maxine Rucker, the owner of Logos Title, is doing the packets. She's owned a title company for the last 15 years. Wow. She's walking you through the packets. She's going to make sure you know what you cannot say. But she also understands that signers want to know what it is they're signing. And so she's going to show you how to do that and remain compliant. So even if you haven't got your commission yet, and you're in town and you want to get that kind of hands-on, this will be the time for that. You can do that and then get your commission. You'll have some good training under your belt before you even get your commission. So you'll kind of be ahead of the game.
What is the fee now for that? Because I know it went up after a certain time frame.
Yeah, 227. And so, yeah, let me tell y'all what's going on that day. So Friday evening is the networking. If you're coming in on the 23rd, Friday evening at 5, we're gonna start networking. There's gonna be some appetizers, there's gonna be a cash bar, and we're gonna do some icebreakers, and then we're gonna do some karaoke. Saturday morning, starting at 9 o'clock, is the purchase packet from 9 to 11. 9 to 11:30. From 9 to about 9:45, you're gonna listen. And then from 9:45 to about 10:30, you're gonna practice one with another. It's classroom style, 2 notaries to a desk, 1 notary is the signer, 1 notary is the notary signing agent. So you'll get practice, impromptu practice after that lecture. So from 9 to 9:45 is lecture, 9:45 to 10:30, you're practicing, right? And then you're gonna switch the next time so that everybody gets to turn, the practice being the signer and the notary. So at 11:30, we're gonna break for lunch. We're gonna have box lunch right there at the hotel. 12 o'clock, we're gonna get right back in the saddle. From 12 to 2:30, we're gonna go into the refi packet. Okay, if you were practicing as the signer on the first go round, on the second go round, you're gonna be the other person. So from 12 to 12:45-ish or 1, she's gonna walk through the packet, you're gonna listen, you're gonna take notes. From 1 to 2:30, you're gonna be practicing with your partner. At 3 o'clock, you're gonna go into Ron, okay? So 2:30, we're gonna juice you up with some sugar, okay? To get you back alive, okay? 2:30 to 3, there's a break. And at 3 o'clock, Aretha's gonna come on with Ron until 5. So it's gonna be a very full day. So I feel like you're gonna get the value for your money is basically what I'm trying to make sure that everybody gets. So that Ron is gonna be from 3 to 5. Now, after that, there's gonna be a surprise signing. The documents for your signing she's got the packets ready. We're gonna be uploading those. They're gonna be available on August the 15th, just July the 15th. They're gonna be unlocked. You can download them, you can get them ready, you can bring them with you to the thing, you can put them in your suitcase. They'll be ready for you on the 15th of July, not any sooner. However, at the end of the Ron training, after we break at 5 o'clock, after she's done, at 5:30, we're going into a surprise signing. A group of papers that you haven't seen before. Why? Because as notary signing agents, isn't that what happens? Don't you sometimes get documents that you haven't seen before? You have to figure them out. Well, that's what's gonna happen at the mock loan signing. So you're getting 2 soft practices and an impromptu practice. So by the time you leave Saturday, your nerves should be shed. Your nerves should be shed. You should at least feel good enough about things to be able to go maybe to a title company back at home and say, you know what? I've just got done with this training. I'd be happy to come and do a signing for you at my discounted rate. You'll have that confidence to be able to do that and not even be worried about the signing services so much after this. And that way you can get your money coming in. Because you need your money coming in because you need to build the business. Because remember, you are the trainer, you are not the worker, right? J.K. Harrison, your hand is up.
Monica, I was just asking in regards to the hotel. I see on site you had it for, I think 109. Does that still stand at 109 for the night?
I believe so. I know that they have in the contract that the 23rd of June was the date. They had to have a date where they cut off the room rate. So let me ask Jake tomorrow. Could you email me so that I have, okay, thank you very much. That'll give me the reminder because we were gonna do a walkthrough today, but we pushed that back to Monday. But I'll call him in the morning and I'll make sure I find that out and I'll have your email and I'll be able to reply to you tomorrow by lunchtime.
Right, because they have it, I think, at 160, 165. So I was like, okay, I wanted to see if it's there.
Yeah, let me see what I can do and get that changed for you. I'll definitely do whatever I can.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? You guys, we're about to change the game, folks. you know, this thing we got going on here, you know, honestly, I just want to take a second and stop talking about business for just a second. And I want to hear from you guys. I want to know, why are you doing this? Because I know why I'm doing this, right? I want to just go around the room, and I know some of us can be long-winded, okay? But it's a whole bunch of us on here, so we can't be long-winded, everybody. But we're about to go around the room and just tell us your why, because for some reason we've all been swooped up in this together, right? And it's going to be interesting to hear our whys and see if there's any kind of cross situation that we might be a part of something bigger than what we're really thinking. GJK, you're up first. What is your why? Why are you doing this?
I'm Georgia. Family freedom and financial freedom. I need to spend more time with my family, and oftentimes when you go to your job, you don't know if tomorrow your job will be there. I need to do me and do for my family. So that's why.
Very nice. Sheila, what about you?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I just can't go work for nobody anymore. It's just like, it just gets on my nerve, you know. And I'm just like, I told my husband, after this job right here, what I'm on now full time, when I can build this, I told him, you know, when we was talking on one of the sessions, about your mind, like if your mind is not there to where, like, if this don't work, I can't go back to 9 to 5. Like, right. My mind is there. Like I can't. Right. So it's like do or die, sink or swim, and you just get me so excited. I mean, your mind, it just goes, and you just be, and I be running trying to catch up, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, okay, I can't write fast enough, I can't listen hard enough, and it's just like you have, I was always raised up. You go to work, you come home, you take care of your family. You know, you go to a job, you go to something that's stable. So this entrepreneur thing is new to me. It's something that, you know, scares the daylights out of me, but it's something that I know that I can do because I've done everything else. I've done these, you know, jobs for people. And this is just something that I want to feel good about me, that I built my baby. Nice. So I understand how you feel, you know, with the notary nurse and seeing it grow. It's like you're a baby. That's what I want my baby. Right. And I'm just excited. You excite me. I'm just like, I'm so glad I saw that YouTube video.
Thank you very much, Sheila. Thank you very much for sharing. Margaret, what about you?
Yeah, pretty much along the same lines. You want to be independent to create my own hours when I want to work, when I don't want to work, just grow. And like Sheila just said, you're very inspiring, and I see you as a visionary. So just kind of walk in that path, you know. Okay. So I'm just trying to catch up and keep up.
Yes, I love that. I received all of that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I wish I could like pull some out of her and put it in a syringe.
Girl, could you get
stick me with it?
Could you get some from around here and pull some of this cheddar cheese margarita from around this way? I'll give you whatever you would blend in the thighs. I got plenty for you to have. Pull from there too. Martina, what is your why?
Like the other young ladies, to transition from the corporate world and come on into do my own thing, and so, you know, to be able to support my family. And and thank you again for your positive inspiration and encouragement. And yes, you are truly a visionary.
Oh, y'all better stop. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. Notary Brittany, what is your why, friend?
Oh Lord, you really want that one?
Yes, give us all of it.
All right, so originally the why was because I was homeless while I was in high school. And so I wanted to make sure that my family did not end up that way, because my husband is a 100% disabled veteran. So I support the entire family. And we have 6 kids. We are very passionate about the foster care program, so I need to make sure that I can afford all of them because they're 6 teenagers, which are not cheap to feed.
Right.
And at the end of it, I have really bougie, expensive taste. I grew up without anything, so now I like Louis Vuitton and Michael Kors, and I need to have the money to pay for all of that.
Love that. Dang, that just hit me out of like left field. You never know somebody's story, y'all. Like you just never know somebody's story. That is amazing. Like I don't even know. I'm at a loss. Homeless in high school. Everybody has been in high school, you know, that's a hard time because you got to keep up with the cool kids. And I couldn't even imagine the struggle having to deal with
I
that.
literally lived in a tent my junior and senior year.
Wow. So when we see you grind or we see you doing 6 figures and all of that, it's not because it fell in your lap. It sounds like it's because you scratched it out of the dirt, so to speak.
I was literally the first person in my family to graduate high school, and then definitely the first person to go to college and get a degree. And I never wanted my kids to experience what I went through.
Wow, that is a why for your tail, honey. I love it. I love it. Lavunia.
Okay.
Yay! There we go. Hey.
Oh my gosh. I have been wanting to be an entrepreneur for probably in my 20s, but I never had that vehicle that could take me where I wanted to go. And now it's really, really pressing that I do something because I really want to come off my job and I want to master whatever I do, what this notary, I want to master it and then move on to other streams of income. So needing an income that will support me and support my lifestyle, Brittany.
We got some bougie.
My job.
I love that. Notary Brittany and Lavunia, y'all need to start a bougie notary Facebook group. Okay. I'm joining. Kimmy, you up.
It's funny because I kind of just fell into notary, to the notary business. My sister was ill and I was visiting her, and her friend came to visit. I said, "So what you doing for work?" And she was like, "I'm a notary." So I came home and did a little research, and I was a notary before I used to work at the bank. I got 20 years of banking experience, but I didn't know you could do it privately. So I kind of fell into it. I love it. I love talking about it. I love helping other people. I've learned so much from you, like everyone else. And every day it just turns into something different. I wake up and I wasn't planning on doing ABC. And then it just keeps taking me different places. It's the craziest thing. So my husband is more of if you say the sky is blue, the sky is blue. I'm more, no, don't you see that little purple in there? Or don't you see? So changed like the wind. I mean, it's nothing for me to say, "Hey, let's go to Africa." You know what I mean?
Right.
But so he says, "Well, it keeps changing." I'm like, "It does every day." so it's been an experience, needless to say, and it's been great, and it's been my privilege to share with other people like you share with us.
Man,
so it's been great.
Thank you for sharing. And can we?
I don't know if I said a why, but I don't know if I actually shared a why, but I just love it. So I love people too.
I'm just stuck on the fact that you got 20 years in banking and you look like you're 32. So did you start with the bank at 12? What did they hire you as a teenager, or how did that work out?
I was 18. I was 18, but I'm old, guys.
Oh, it doesn't show. It does not show.
Yeah. In November, I'll be 53.
Girl, you better.
Oh, this is recorded. Look, this is recorded. I hate I said it now.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it. I'm throwing this mouse at you right now because I don't believe it. We're going to go to Adrian. Adrian, you're up next. I can't believe it.
I was just typing. Today's 50 does not look like our mama's 50.
Yeah, that is true.
So we rocking it at 50. I'd be 50. I just turned 57.
What?
Yep.
Y'all better eat vegan. Okay. Look, what's your why?
I am doing this. I am going through a life change and I need to start creating wealth for myself and be able to take care of me since I'm going through this life change to get rid of the other.
Okay. There's a lot of that going on. And that's, you know, that's a big transition. And this is a good thing to add to the mix. I thank you for sharing that. Thank you very
But I'm
much.
trying to keep it on low key until everything is said and done because I don't want to have to pay no alimony.
Yeah, well, there we go. We don't want, look, y'all, we can't talk about everything on Facebook. On what we don't need no attorneys in here researching no cases now. But we get you what you're saying, Adrian. Yes, we're gonna have to start using codes. Okay. Dorothy, what is your why?
My why is I'm about to retire from the law enforcement community as an administrator in the next 5 years. And so I'm trying to get all of my businesses, my notary, my real estate, trying to get all of that in order so that when I do retire, that's all I want to do. I don't want to go punch another clock.
I know that's right. And you probably gonna retire before that 5 years. I just thought I'd speak that. So you could have.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I'm believing it.
Yeah,
I do receive it.
Okay. I love that. That's a good why. Wayne, where's that tabby cat?
All right, my cat is now at the window screaming at another visitor cat that he wants to go away. But anyhow.
Well, what's your why?
Well, I'm retired. I don't have a lot of money. I apply for jobs and people look at my white hair and my face and they say, no, we're not going to hire you. So, and fortunately, I hooked up with a credit counselor who was trying to get me out of debt. And he was a notary. And he says, well, why don't you try being a notary? And I said, okay. So that's why I got started on this. And fortunately, he has retired from being a credit counselor. He's a full-time notary now. And
wow.
He's successful. So
nice.
That's where I come from.
That is an awesome why, as far as getting everything where, you know, age discrimination is so real. And it's sad because you want to work and you want to, you know, earn a living, but all these doors get shut and it forces you to be creative. And it's the wrong generation to be playing with because y'all aren't the kind to get told no and go sit down. Okay. Y'all get told no and just get up and go around or build just like what you're doing. So I applaud you for that. And that's a big, if I wasn't trying to be good, I would say something. But it's a big F you to the man for not doing right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just gonna calm down. Y'all, I was getting a little involved. But that's a great why. And I'm glad that you're here. James, hey James, you're up.
Hey everybody. Hey, happy belated birthday, Monica.
Thank you very much. I had a really good birthday last week.
That's good. And Wayne just left. I was going, Wayne, to hide your white hair, you just got to shave your head. Hey, look, you and I had a conversation. The biggest reason I left is the rat race. Tired of it. And I think we're all in a lot of the same age brackets here. I never felt valued anymore. The growth within corporate world is gone. They stripped. If they can find a way to save money and pocket it for themselves and not give it back to the employees, you know, banking used to be a safe place. Kemi, you're in banking. Banking used to be a safe place. You get a really good pension. Not anymore. It's gone. So it's definitely time. Wow. And I really do like the fact that, you know, it's more of a one-on-one building these relationships and being able to feel more connected to people. That's important to me.
Nice. Thank you for that. That's awesome. And I'm so glad you're here. We need to talk. Did you get my email? I mean, have you got the contract?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. I haven't talked space with Fleetwood, but I'll do that by the end of this week. And yeah, I turned mine to Roxana.
Okay, nice. Krishna, what is your why?
My why is one for extra income, although I'm commissioned and certified for Ron and whatever else. I actually haven't gotten out there yet because I do have just a bunch going on, but I'm learning about business with my schooling, so I figured why not start one. And
Very
I've been
good.
a notary for several years. I've just never done anything with it.
Okay. I love that. Very good. Thank you for sharing. Antoinette, what is your why?
Hi.
Hey.
My why is because I hired myself and I got to keep me happy.
Right.
No, actually, it was hard for me to find, after I relocated here in Florida, it was hard for me to find work because of my age. I'm 57 years old. And it was really hard. So I had to create myself, and so that's what I did. And so I am so happy that I made this move. And that's the best move I ever made. I don't ever want to work for anyone ever again, only for me.
Right. I love it. Good
So,
for you.
So that's my why.
Love it. Thank you. Suzette, you're up. What's your why?
Hey, Monica, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. All right. My why is pretty much like everybody else's why. The freedom. I also do real estate as well. And we talked before, I'm also an educator. So as an education, a lot of times we get locked into just knowing that we only know the students, we only know other educators, and we know the parents. But I'm loving the fact, especially with real estate and some general notary, just getting to know everybody, talking to everybody, and not just being locked into, let's talk about the curriculum, behavior, tests, and everything like that. So my why is for freedom, personal freedom, financial freedom, being my own boss, and just being happy with it, and get education eventually.
What grade do you teach?
6th grade social studies.
Woo!
And like everybody else, I've been teaching for like Kimmy, this is my 24th year. So it's like, it's kind of go.
Where are y'all getting these G's from?
And also, Monica, I want to talk to you. Well, say something about the test when you said you're going to do a time test.
Yes.
Remember, everybody's reading level is different. So you got to be careful with the time test.
Oh.
Not everybody's a speed reader, so we got to look at different levels of learning.
That is so true.
But that's my why.
I love your why. I didn't even think, see, this is what they mean by iron sharpens iron, I think, is that. But you're right on the time test. We're going to have to think about that. Okay, well, we'll get it figured out. Tamika, what is your why?
Hi. Gosh, so many things. Flexibility, freedom, financial freedom, especially. I had gotten laid off before the pandemic hit. And, which kind of threw me for a loop. So, and it took a minute for me to get another position. And I just don't want to ever be in that position again. I don't want to ever have to scramble and worry about, what's going to come next. So, I've been a notary for a while, but never knew this whole other genre existed.
Right.
So I'm just loving, the ride and the journey and looking forward to what comes of it. And I appreciate you and this group and everybody's stories, and it's awesome.
I know, I love it. Thank you very much for sharing. That's awesome. Claire, you're up.
Oh, hey, I'm just enjoying everybody else's whys. They're so great. I am, financial independence. I really enjoy people and feeling like I can help in some way. And gosh, this is, I guess, my 4th career iteration, if you will. I'm a former research administrator. I worked at NIH in Bethesda, where the Dr. Fauci worked at the virus research center there, and the Med Center in Houston, done project management and business analyst and all that stuff. But this is just absolutely phenomenal. I just really need to get everything off the ground. As a matter of fact, I was a notary when I worked for the state of Texas, but I was as an employee. So that's kind of from a different perspective. But I never at that time knew that there were so many different various iterations of it and how you can put all that under the umbrella of a notary and all the different facets of business that are so appropriate and how you can make money. So I'm just enjoying the ride. Like everyone else has said, I enjoy your enthusiasm. You are definitely a visionary, and it's just been absolutely phenomenal to be a part of this group and to listen and to meet all these wonderful people. So thank you for that opportunity. It's
Absolutely.
really been great.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. MC, you're up next.
Hi, everybody. I would say time and financial freedom, and also the freedom of having my own business.
You broke up on us a little bit. Can you say that one more time?
Yes, time and financial freedom, and also the freedom of having my own business.
Exactly.
That's my why.
Nice, very good, because that's why most of us, I think I can agree, like the time freedom and the financial freedom. If you want to go grab an ice cream with the kids or the grandkids, or you want to go, spend an hour at the clearance rack at Marshall's, whatever it is that you want to be able to do, that time freedom is everything, because we don't get to come back, folks. You don't get to do it over again. It's the life that you have now is all that you have. So you don't get to do yesterday over. You don't get to rewind the last hour. It just is gone. So, that's why time freedom is so valuable. So I love your why. I think a lot of us can relate. Shayna.
Oh, hello. My why is kind of similar to everyone else's. It's financial freedom, generational wealth. I'm preparing for children I don't even have yet. My adopted parents passed away when I was very young. And so I know what it is to be a child who didn't really have anything left behind for them. Also, my why consists of wanting to get out of corporate. I was just at work today, and somebody who just got hired not too long ago was let go. And today was their last day. And it kind of startled me because I was like, okay, first of all, what happened? And then am I next? So I've just never, ever really been comfortable in a 9-to-5 setting because it's not security for me. If anything, it's anxiety producing. And the last thing is just wanting to get to my dream. I've always wanted, ever since I was a little girl, to write books, poetry, and plays. And so I want to fund that and own my own intellectual property. I don't want to have to sell off my rights or my royalties to my work in order to put things out, because that will mess with the integrity of the work. So if I'm building wealth in other ways, I don't necessarily have to sell out my dream. So all of this is important to me because I'm interested in the people I can touch by providing all of this information, all of these services and things like that as well. So my why is much bigger than just me.
Wow, what an amazing why. I love that. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. L. Lockett. Are you there? I see you trying to come off mute. Can you hear me okay? Let me check the chat. No? Okay. We're going to come back to you. We're going to see if you can type it in. If you can let us know what's going on in the chat, L. Lockett, we'll come back to you. Larita.
Yes, hello.
Hey.
So my why is pretty much like everyone else's. I've been in healthcare for a long time and it's just not fulfilling to me anymore. Basically, I go to work for the check, and that's just a horrible feeling every day. I just started a new job, and while I'm going to do my best, I'm just, it just takes everything in me to go to work. So um, I just wanted to, you know, do something different that's fulfilling to me because I do like helping people, and doing this would be consistent with that. And so um, basically just and I'm going to retire soon, so I just don't want to sit down, but I want to do something that's fulfilling to me and that I enjoy. So
I love that.
yeah, that's my why. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very nice. Victoria. Victoria, are you there? Let me check the chat. All right. We might come back to Victoria. Melinda. Melinda, there she is. What is your
Hello.
why?
So it's funny that you're saying that because I'm actually typing my why for another introduction that I need to do. And some of you may know or may not know. I had triplets 2 years ago. And so I've been home for 2 years. I left the job and I need to replace my income, but I'm in that catch-22. Where if I go to work, I got to pay for daycare and I can't afford it. And if I stay home, I can't afford it either. So it's like, I need something to help, to help pay the bills, but not have to sacrifice so much and lose so much. So I actually found a work from home job that'll pay me $16 an hour to sit on a desk for 8 hours. So that's $128 a day. And that made me so depressed thinking that I can do so much more money for so less time. So
Yeah.
I just been looking for different services to add to my business so I can be able to not have to sit here and have to figure out how much money I need to survive. And I got to do this and I got to do that. I'm tired of thinking of that. I just want to live and be able to provide for everybody. So,
right. Oh, I felt all of that.
It's ridiculous. It makes you so depressed just to see that, like, you sit there for 8 hours just listening to people complain or something. It's just weird.
Right.
And I'm like, I just spent 8 hours. My kids are gone for 8 hours in the daycare. I'm sitting home for 8 hours talking to nobody. For $125, really, I can go outside and have fun and enjoy talking to people and get out the house.
Right.
So no, I can't work for nobody else.
I love it. I love your why. I felt it. Did y'all feel it? I felt it. Like you could feel it coming through her voice.
Listen, I try not to cry.
I know. I'm almost there with you because I feel it so strongly in your voice that I know that you're at the end of like, this has got to work. I'm going to make this work. This is not okay. I'm not going to sit here all day for that pay. Like, you're done. I can hear it. And you're going to, this thing, we're just going to keep wrapping you up, and we're going to keep encouraging each other and keep each other in a positive frame of mind. Because when I tell you guys, if you think it, it will happen. So that means if you think bad, it'll happen too. So you have to start to retrain your mind. And I really think we probably got to get back into that Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, folks. But that's a whole nother story. But just stay positive, and everything that is going to happen is going to come to you. Is going to come to you. Just keep thinking positive. Renee, what is your why? Are you there, Renee? I saw you come off mute, but we may have some technical difficulties because I can't hear you. No? Okay. Kina.
Hello.
Hey, what is your why?
My why is freedom. I'm not gonna reach my financial number by working as a nurse only. So I've transitioned to all things real estate investing, rentals. I recently got my broker's license, and just adding the notary was just made sense to me.
Nice. A lot of us with similar synergies. I hear a lot of real estate. I hear a lot, that right there, We're gonna have to probably start talking in a couple of those other directions once we get this thing up and running. But I love that very much so. Adiatu, what is your why? Can you come off mute? All right, Monet, what is your why?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
How's everybody? My why is just like everyone else. I'm a single mom of 2. I was always really big on, I want to be at every field trip. I want to be at everything. I work all day, but just give me time to be a mom. So it just really pushed me to want to do my own business. I quit my job and I was just like, I need a work from home job. And I found Notary. And just a sidebar, I just thank you so much because you're on YouTube and you type Notary and it's like all these people and the videos are 8 years old. To find you guys and actually have one-on-one training, it's awesome. So that's my why, and thank you so much as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. That just makes my day. I love YouTube, man. YouTube is the bomb.com, folks. Keena, did we do you already? Have we done your why yet? Or did I try to? Let's go, let's see if Keena. No, L Lockett, are you back?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. There we go.
Yes, hi.
What is your why?
Okay. I fell into the notary business because I went for a job and it said that you had to have your notary license. And so I said, well, I didn't have it. And I just went down to the Superior Court, and just got it. They just gave it to me for $51. And then I didn't get the job. And I was like, okay, now what do I do with this? So I started watching YouTube videos and you came up, Monica. And I started watching your videos and everything. And I was like, wow. And then I don't know how, I think I just signed up for something of yours and then you sent me an email and it had this little clock on it. And I just zoomed in and I've loved it ever since.
Love it. Yeah, that little clock put you on notice, like, okay, something's about to happen. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That clock on that email is so cool. I just thought it was so cool. But my why is that I needed a job. And I didn't get it. So now I can make this my own business and my job.
That's right. I love it. Great. Why. Thank you very much for sharing. I'm glad we got that worked out so we can hear you give us your why.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Shayna. Shayna, not Shayna Prince, but Shayna with a Y. Are you there? We'll hop back. Karesha.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, ladies, man, how are you?
Good. It's nice to see everybody and nice to know that we're all in the same boat together.
Yeah. Oh, so your why is similar to some of these other whys too, huh? Tell us about it.
I am tired of living in survival mode and I want to live in abundance. I'm going to live in abundance and I'm going to show my children and the rest of my family how to live in abundance. And then you can only do that by example only. You can't talk them to death. You can't show them to death. You have to get out there and do it. Right. And the only way to show them that this is going to work is to do it.
Right.
So my why is I am sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I am tired of struggling. I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. I'm tired of having all these ideas and none of them working. Stick to something and let's go.
Got you. I heard it in your voice. The conviction is real. Thank you very much for sharing your why.
You're welcome.
Catherine Brown. Catherine, are you there? There she is.
I'm here. Hey guys, so my why is my job done got on my last nerve. I had asked them, could I be 100% remote? I mean, I've been 100% remote for 18 months now. And they just gave me the spiel about how the corporation needs us to come in the office so we can collaborate. So I said, okay, no worries. I'll just be quitting in September when we have to come back in the office. So my why is to basically have financial freedom. My mother is sick. This is the reason why I wanted to continue to work 100% remote. So I want to be able to obviously spend time with her, my family, and I want to be able to travel. So whenever I want. So that's my why.
Wow, that's an amazing why. That's a very amazing why. Thank you very much for sharing it. And it's like, I'm a big fan of TikTok, and people are going back to work and they're like, why am I here? Like, it's, you know, I've been working remotely, and the real reason they won't say is they're stuck in leases and they've got to pay those leases. And now that the world is opening back up, it doesn't make sense for empty offices if they're locked into 3 and 5 year leases. So that's the commercial real estate at play. But so that whole collaboration, that's just a fluff. They got leases they stuck in and can't get out of. That's what that is. But I know that what you need is going to happen, because what you need is way bigger than what they got going on. So I pray that it does come to fruition. Violet, what is your why?
Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing this evening?
Good.
My why is simple: time freedom, generational wealth. I'm a full-time caregiver of my mom, so I need to be at home. And I plan on with this. I always want to be an entrepreneur, and with this, I want to buy some homes for homeless people with their families, to get homeless people and families off the streets.
Wow.
That's simple.
Love it. I absolutely love it. I'm with you on that. I want to help you with that any way I can. That's right up my alley. That, the foster kids, all of this, the plays, the Shayna,
Yes.
all of that. That's why I wanted to hear everybody's whys, because I wanted to see where things were crossing paths at. So thank you very much, Violet, for sharing. Narisa.
Hello. So I, like Miss Melinda, did go get a job making $16 an hour. I went through training. I was like, I can do this. That first day, I clocked off. I was like, I can't do this. So I've always been an entrepreneur for the last 15 years because my job quit me. So I needed to supplement my daycare income. And I also wanted to help my mom supplement her retirement income. She's semi-retired. So I wanted to do something where I would create something for her to do to supplement her income as well.
I love it. What great kids, you guys. We're great kids, you guys. A lot of us are putting our families, we're wanting to show our families, we're wanting better for our families. That was like a theme. Spend more time with our families, right? I love that. That's
Exactly.
common thread that kind of flow throughout the room. So before we get out of here, we got a few more minutes. What I want to make sure I leave you guys with, we got about 16 more minutes. So what I want to make sure I leave you guys with, and you dream on tonight and you think on tonight, is the idea of you collaborating with notaries who are RON approved in a state, especially for those of you all who are not RON notaries. So I want you to start to be intentional about finding other RON notaries if you're interested in plugging in, because what we'll do is Complete Signings will contract with RON notaries on one end, and it'll also contract with signing services that already have RON notaries on another end. Those are those individuals who aren't RON notaries, but have created a business that is a group of RON notaries, your own little signing service. You are the link to them getting to this attorney group. That's why membership has its privileges, right? So you're connected to Notary Nerds. So even though you're not RON approved, by your being connected, that you are their inroads to getting in on this attorney thing. So you start thinking tonight, tomorrow, next week about what that would look like. If you're in a state that doesn't allow RON, like Violet, Mississippi is still no on RON, right?
That's correct.
So what Violet may want to do, Violet may have been starting to make friends with, a few Florida notaries, okay? And maybe they're, not really sure on the direction they're going, and she's talking to them more about them getting their RON notary, because she knows that Florida is a state that you can do that in. So now Violet is doing little Zooms with them and getting to know them and getting that whole situation together, because Violet knows that she can come over to Complete Signings and contract with Complete Signings for her Ron Notaries. Now, all of a sudden, Violet has a way to get her Ron Notaries business. Now, she may come up with other ways in addition to Complete Signings. She's not limited to just getting, but she's got a Ron Notary business in Florida, but she's in Mississippi. And it might just be 2 or 3 notaries who are just a little bit not sure, and she can take and mold. So because of Zoom, because of internet, we don't have to do business. We have to do notary business in the state of our commission. But when it comes to starting a business, you can start a business in your state that operates with people in another state. You just have to have a process and a procedure in place for everything. So you're not limited. If you're thinking, oh gosh, I wish I could be able to do Ron. Well, honestly, this is actually better if you ask me, because again, we want to stop thinking in terms of us always doing the work. We want to think in terms of us doing the work long enough for us to develop a standard operating procedure and to pass that along. Your temp services are going to be your best friend when you get overwhelmed, right? Or if you need support. But that's probably a little further down the road. I don't want you guys to, I have a tendency to go too far down the road. I just want you to think that way. Know that that's something that's a potential for you to be able to do. If you're interested in the Ron piece, if you're not in a Ron state, that doesn't prohibit you from setting up an LLC or whatever in your state, starting a Ron service, but you're not offering Ron in your state. You're not telling anybody you're offering Ron in your state. You started a Ron service and you're hiring Ron notaries in other states. You're starting a virtual signing service, okay? But if there he goes, look at that big guy. Uh-oh, he wants the box. He is not missing no meals. My cat is not feeling good. I don't know, this cat food I've been getting him, he doesn't like it. He smells it and he's like, I don't know if it's a bad batch or what, but anyway, we're gonna have to check that out and change it. But my whole point is start thinking outside the box, start thinking outside of your state. Because this Ron thing, the attorneys are the #1 best audience for a notary. They're the only industry that is going to need notaries every single day, day in, day out, without fail. I don't care if they're bankruptcy attorneys, criminal attorneys, estate attorneys, adoption attorneys. So what the trend is towards Ron. So yes, they do need the mobile people. They need people to go after hours. That is definitely a need, but I decided not to focus on that because it had too many moving parts. I think it's when you're trying to start something new, you need to focus on it and keep it as simple as possible. And the way to do that is to solve that Ron problem and start there. Then what will happen is, hey, do you have somebody who can actually go to my client's house at 7? I think that will naturally happen, but it's all going to be on the back end of Ron. So anybody have anything else? Anything? Kimmy, yes.
It was just a resource I wanted to share with everyone, if it's okay for
yes.
Notaries over, well, they say 50, but you don't have, a notary is a notary, so the tips work for everyone, but it's prime time notaries and they only meet once per month it's on a Wednesday, because I usually have to do an hour with them and I leave them to come to you. It's only once a month. They have replays too, but it's called Prime Time Notaries. And they have tips for older notaries, how to navigate the world, how to be safe out there. Anything dealing with age and elderly, Prime Time Notaries.
Okay, good tip. Thank you. I love all of these. So every time, so guys, so here's the thing. Now that you're starting to think futuristically and maybe you're starting to collaborate or think about collaborating with other agents in other areas, start a spreadsheet, a piece of paper, start making connections, especially like in good groups like that, where there's a lot of helpfulness happening. Start making connections with people, I don't know, start getting telephone numbers and emails, and you're going to have to be intentional about building your network of your people that you've seen people in the groups that see being helpful and you want to connect with, make sure you start a Rolodex or a list or whatever you want to call it of those people. And then be strategic. Start listening and paying attention to what states do RON. If you're in a state that doesn't do RON, and figure out where you want to be. You know, if you're in a state that doesn't do RON, do you want to get you some Tennessee notaries and some Florida notaries and some Texas notaries? Or do you want to focus on some Michigan notaries? Okay, start figuring that part out. But at the end of the day, the main thing is you start where you need to start in order, just where you are. Don't over pressurize, okay? But understand that we are structuring ourselves at Notary Nerds so that we can get results. Because if I can help you win, then Notary Nerds wins. Because every time I help you win, then it's not necessary for me to go and try to prove to people so hard that it's valuable. I can say, look at all these people. She got a signing service. She's doing 6 figures. She's got 3, you know what I'm saying? She's got 3 RON notaries that she just hired. You know, all these different things are going to start to happen just by the synergy of us being supportive of one another. So tomorrow night, Violet just dropped her information in the chat. If you're starting a list, Violet just dropped her info in the chat. She's got her cell phone number and her email number, her email address in there, and she's in Mississippi. So y'all start just making a little list, okay? And everybody ain't got to be best friends, and y'all ain't got to go, you know, have, you know, chess pie together every Friday. But you just want to start connecting with each other, just so in the event that you need one another, you guys have each other's contact information. Tomorrow evening, tomorrow we're gonna move that woman-owned small business class to the evening. Like I said, I'm not sure about what time. I'm thinking 8 o'clock, but I've got to check Malcolm's work schedule real quick, so I set the time right. So you've already gotten an email about tomorrow's class, and it says 1 o'clock. Ignore that. I'm going to send out another email with the correct time. And then also I'll get on the August 1st, I'll figure out, you know, being able to pay 3 months or 6 months or whatever at a time. We'll figure that part out. And thank y'all for your patience, because we're going to be organizing Notary Nerds. So when you go into your library, it's kind of nicely structured. So bear with us as we're doing that. Some of the classes we've started on already. And that's basically all I had. Dorothy just dropped her information, you guys. Wayne just dropped his information. Let me take this down for myself real quick.
Just save the chat.
Everybody save the chat. Save the chat.
Save the
That's
chat.
the best way to do it. Just save
Yes.
the chat.
Save the chat.
See how I want to make things harder?
Put that pen down, Monica. Save the chat.
I'm saving the chat. And I'm saving the chat.
Thank
All right,
you.
you guys. Drop your information in here. Save the chat. Brittany just put the chat in there. Anything that you guys have that you want to talk about before we conclude?
So much information.
It's a lot. I know. It's a lot.
Well, we'll just go back and replay it, and that way we'll just rewind it again and go from there.
So we can replay these messages. We can replay these.
Yeah, the notary meet and greets. We put those up on the YouTube channel. It'll probably be tomorrow before it's up there, though. So if people don't want to, or if people don't get to see it, then they can go back and watch the replay.
Oh, okay.
But I love the live better. The live is always better.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. You all have a good night.
Y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good one. Violet shut it down for us. She's like, okay, good night, everybody.
Quick question.
Good night.
Monica, quick question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Do you know how I can save the chat? I don't see a button for it.
Are you on your phone or are you on your desktop?
I'm on my phone.
Okay, so that's where I get confused. I know how to do it on the desktop. I don't know how to do it on the phone.
Drop your email in the chat, and Miss Brittany has already saved it, and we can email it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I just saved the chat. And Shayna, what's your email address?
It's info@realnotenotary.com.
Okay.
It should be in the chat.
Okay.
I also dropped my email in there too, so if I could possibly get it, I didn't know how to save it also.
Absolutely. Let me just get that done now. Let's see. Where did it save? May have saved it in the Zoom folder. Let me go to it. Today is the what?
14th.
Okay, so I saved the chat, but it's not appearing yet. I guess maybe because I'm still on the call. So let me see. Let me click to download. Okay, there it is. So it's on text edit. Okay, so now it's in my download folder. Let me go grab everybody's emails, make sure I've got everybody's. So we've got text, void, chore, notary. Renee, is that right? TXVOITURENOYARY or is that a typo?
No, it's a typo.
Oh, okay. Let me get these. It's gonna take me a second to make sure I get Texas.
Because I think I see somebody from Birmingham, Alabama, and was trying to get the information so I don't feel all alone.
Is that where you are in Alabama?
Yeah, I'm in Huntsville.
I love Huntsville.
Is that Dorothy? I think Dorothy says she's from Alabama, if I'm not
Yeah, I think
mistaken.
so. Yeah, I was trying to capture it. For the longest while, it was just me from Alabama.
Well, that's good, y'all. Now you know there's right. Violet's been holding it down for Mississippi for a while.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me make sure.
Violet, did you ever
Ma'am?
finish? Did you ever finish your SAMs?
Yeah, I'm trying to do I got an email the other day, but I've been taking care of my mom, so I hadn't been able to check it, but I got an email, I think it was Friday.
Oh, you may have gotten your cage number.
No, I've been had my cage number. I just want to,
okay.
yeah, I got all that done. So I'm now trying to go in there with the next codes and look for different contracts and things that's available.
Y'all know we did that yesterday, and there
was
on Tuesdays. Yes, it was Tuesday. We looked at Antoinette and I. We looked at a couple of opportunities, and there's some nice stuff going on, but it's almost like you got to be careful not to get swept down in that rabbit hole. And I think I just got the last email because some of these performance locations are like Okinawa, Japan.
Exactly.
Like I'm not going to Okinawa, Japan.
Exactly.
So
that's why it pays to read the entire thing.
Yes. Okay, I think I got everybody's. Somebody's microphone is doing something. Let me see. There we go. I think I got everybody's email. I'm going to send out this chat right now while I'll have you guys on the phone and just let me on the call rather, and just let me know that you got it. Okay. See here, chat. If you wanted it and you download, there we are. Perfect. Okay. Notary meet and greet chat. 7:14. All right, so everybody who wanted the chat, check your email.
Monica.
Yes.
As far as the government contracting thing, have you looked into freight? I want to do that, but I don't want to do it by myself.
L Lockett.
Freight is big business for
I was
government.
looking at that and I saw that.
I mean, I will go in with you guys. I mean, I will even get my DLCL, whatever.
CDL driver's license.
Oh, let me tell you what I just paid $189 for yesterday. Freight broker school. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
L Lockett, I don't know what kind of
radar you got going on.
It's called Holy Ghost, girl.
Yes, that's what it is.
There you go.
It is all God.
It
'Cause
is. And when
it
I
is
say
on my heart so big. And I even talked to a guy who is a truck driver, but he's in Oregon. And I said, well, fine, I said, well, if I want to do West Coast, I could always get him. He's interested, but he's a W-2, and going from a W-2 to 1099, it's a whole different thing. So I said,
fair.
well, I want to get it off the ground here. I said, even if I have to get my CDL license. He said,
Well,
he said, you don't need it if you're gonna
no.
run the business. I said, well, I would
Right.
need it if I need to go pick up my freight somewhere. I will go get my truck.
Oh, okay. Well, I could tell you this, and let me hit you guys, thank you for joining us on the meet and greet. I'm going to end the recording now.
Oh, okay.